million entrepreneurs globally across about 200 countries. And you can see there, I'm also a faculty and a mentor, and I'm now currently number 14 out of 2,566. And I would say these opportunities have come because of my visibility and credibility on the LinkedIn platform. So if you do have your mobile phone, there's another way in which you can also connect with me. There's a little QR code, and I'll show you where that is. If you open up your LinkedIn app, and you'll see there, just in the search bar to the right, there's a little QR code, and if you type on it, then we should be able to capture it. Now, just a quick one moment. I just need to ask. I'm going to just type in something. This is for Farouk. I'm not sure if you can just respond to this. Okay, so I think it's the recording is on. Just wanted to make sure that the recording was on. Alrighty, okay. So, first question, why LinkedIn? There are so many other social networking platforms, but why LinkedIn? And I want to get very clear about this. So, LinkedIn is growing so fast. Whatever figure Farouk gave has already now become redundant. And as of the beginning of 2021, we have 760 million users. That's 760 million users. The amazing thing is 4 out of 5 of them are decision makers. They drive decisions. And in business, the key thing is we want to know people who can make a decision. This is a fun stat, which I absolutely love. 41% of all millionaires are active on LinkedIn. So you not only have decision makers, but high net worth individuals that are using LinkedIn. And that's a key reason that I love it. The other thing is you've got great organic reach, and I'm going to talk more about that in a moment, compared to other networking platforms or social platforms like Facebook, Instagram, etc. Okay. Lastly, you can get things which are hyper targeted, particularly in terms of what industry, what job title, etc. that people have. Okay. This is an amazing piece of information. HubSpot, which is one of the leading marketing companies in the world, had done a study with over 5,000 businesses, both in the B2B and B2C side of things. And this is what they found. The LinkedIn completely outperformed. They got 274% more leads compared to Facebook and Twitter. So it is the best social network for lead generation if you know how to use it. That's what we want to cover today. The other thing that I was telling you, the organic reach is insane. 78% more than Facebook or Instagram. Now, I am active across all those particular platforms, and this is the reason why I absolutely love LinkedIn. Okay, so let's get into it in terms of the 21 ways. Okay, the first thing we've got to set is some very clear goals. And before we do that, we've got to understand what is our current benchmarks. Where do we currently lie? And I'm going to show you where you can find all of this particular information, because I take a very data-driven approach to marketing. And you'll see what I mean in a moment, okay? First, do you know how many connections you have? In total, the maximum anyone can have, it doesn't matter, is you can have 30,000 connections. Okay, so the size of your network is going to determine the number of opportunities that you end up getting. Okay. Next, what is your SSI score? Okay. And I'm going to pop in this particular link in a moment, but if you can just open a new tab, okay, linkedin.com/sales/SSI, that will give you your social selling index score. And a lot of people do not know what the SSI is. Okay. And I'm going to take you through in a moment what it is. But it's essentially LinkedIn's algorithm. It's the only network that allows you to see this information. Facebook doesn't allow you to see it, Instagram doesn't, WhatsApp doesn't, but LinkedIn does. And therefore, you can then take a very data-driven approach to making sure that you become visible and more credible using this data. Next, how many followers do you have? You can have millions of followers, okay? So while connections are capped at 30,000, and LinkedIn is not going to change that, what they are now switching to is they're switching to what we call the creator mode. And all the things I'm going to be sharing with you right now are what is happening, the latest and the greatest. Now, these are things that have been rolled out by LinkedIn in the last 90 days. I'm giving you very current information. Okay. Profile views. How many profile views have you had? How many people are viewing your content? Okay. And obviously, at the end of it, sales value. And sales value is going to come about how, if you're first generating leads, okay, most of us need to have some sort of conversation with the prospect. So some sort of appointment on Zoom, on Google Meet or Team or whatever you're using. And then that has to fructify in a sale. Okay. So these are the key things. If you don't have this clarity, okay, it's not going to end up in sales. So all the previous data, connections, SSI, followers, profile views, content views, okay, will then lead to the number of leads, which will then lead to sales. You might want to take a quick screenshot of this, and I'm going to show you where you can get this particular information. Okay. So let's do this. Let me take you through. I want you to log into LinkedIn, and I want. Sorry, Siddharth, mute yourself. Siddharth, if you can mute yourself, because I'm getting feedback. Thank you. Alrighty, okay. So if you go to your LinkedIn profile, get your LinkedIn profile, okay, and just underneath your photo and your headline, okay, you should be getting something called your dashboard. Okay. Now, just underneath your name, there should be something like this, which is like, how many connections do you have? If you click on this, okay, you will get some sort of figure. Okay. So in my case here, you can see 8,400 results. I want you to take a piece of paper, note it down, and write down how many connections do you have. And when I'm talking about first degree connection, so you directly connected to that person on LinkedIn, and you can end up sending them a message. Okay. So that's where you end up getting the first piece of information, which is now connections. Okay, so you can just click on it and you'll be able to find it. Okay, then next, if you scroll down, you will see something called your dashboard. Okay, and here you'll be able to see how many people have viewed your profile, how many people have viewed your post in the last 24 hours, and how many people have been searching for you. This is very important. You want people searching for you as well. So, if you click on this, you will be able to get even more information. And you can see here, I must be doing something right because there's been a 45% increase since the previous week. Okay, so now I'm able to see, okay, who are the people that are checking me out, etc. Okay, and I can begin to connect to them. So how many profile views have you had? Go back to this. Post views. Okay, so if I again click on that, it will show me what have been my posts, and this was essentially from my post yesterday. Okay, so in the last 24 hours. Okay? Now, if I just go here, just below, if I click, you should be able to get two different pieces of information. Sorry, hang on. I'm just going to go back to this. Okay. And if I begin to click even on this previous one, then it even gives me some very cool piece of information, like which companies do they work in, what are their titles, which area have they come from, and you're able to even get more information. Okay, so this is some really cool pieces of thing that you're able to get. Okay, search appearances. Who's searching for you? Which companies are searching for you? What are their titles? What were they specifically searching for, etc. You can find out all this incredible amount of information. So can you begin to see how important this is? Now, let's just give me a second. I'm going to stop sharing the screen because I need to. I'll just put this in chat. Okay, so where do you find your SSI score? I've just put in Jwala, you don't require a premium account. Everything I'm showing you is on the free account. Okay, so just go to that link that I put, linkedin.com/sales/SSI. Okay, and let's share the screen again. Okay, so you should be seeing something like this. Okay, and the key thing that I'm looking at is this. What's your score out of 100? Okay, what's your score out of 100? So in this case, mine is 77 out of 100, and you see that there's about 4 different colors that are there, and each one will give you about 25 points, and this is the makeup, and this is how I'm able to get my 77. Okay, now anything above 75 is a good score, and that means that the LinkedIn platform, the LinkedIn algorithm will see you as someone who is a very credible person, and will then begin to show your posts, show you in search results, all of those particular things, which will then end up helping you get more and more opportunities. Okay, and I have some clients who we've been able to help them get into the 80s. So you can imagine they are getting insane amount of new opportunities. Okay, so this is important. Now, it doesn't matter where you are currently. Okay, typically, you will see that the average SSI is about 47. Okay, so wherever you are if you begin to do some of the things that I'm going to be talking about, you can easily kind of add 15 to 20 marks on your SSI. And I've seen people go from mid 40s or early 50s to high 70s within a 2 week period. Okay, so I just want to say that up front. Okay, so these are some of the key things that I wanted to first get very clear. And what my question to you is, in the next 90 days, what are the results that you want? How many connections do you want? What's your SSI score that you want? How many followers do you want? So, if you just go to the activity section, which is just, you scroll down further in your profile, you will find that. So now, this was a little while back, but, I'm now close to about 9,000 followers, and I've had a big growth happening, in this particular month. And I'll show you some of the things, some of the reasons why. Okay. Dashboard, I've shown how you can do that. So you can see, this was a while back, maybe around last year, October, and you can see immediately this has gone up quite massively. To profile views has gone above 1,800. Okay, and so it's just moving forward. So now, first things first, we've got to make sure that you have a powerfully optimized profile. You need to, on LinkedIn, there is something called the All-Star LinkedIn profile. Okay, you need to make sure that you have that. Okay, there are 5 key things that will produce 80% of the result. Okay, and this is what it will look like. Once you have achieved that, if you scroll down again in your dashboard, you should be able to see this, and you can see here. If you become an all-star, you will get 3 times more profile traffic from search feed and my network. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so that's one key reason why you want to make sure you end up filling up your complete profile, but there's some key things that you want to end up optimizing. Okay, so what are the 5 things when they've done heat map analysis? So that means, where do people end up clicking and looking? There are 5 key areas. So what are they? Okay, number 1, it is your profile photo. Number 2, it's your profile background photo. Okay, so your visual impact, those are the first 2 things that people look at. Then people will look at your headline. I'm going to go through these in a moment. Then your about section, it used to be called summary. Now it's called the about section. What your activities are, so posts, comments, things like that. And then recommendations. What are others saying about you? And recent recommendations. Yeah, not like something, like 10 years ago or 5 years ago. That doesn't really count. I'm talking very recent, at least in the last 90 days. Okay, so let's get into these in more details. If you optimize your profile, number 1, when people search for your name, you do a Google search for your name. I promise you, for most people, 99% of people, your LinkedIn profile will come up first before your website or anything else. And therefore, it's important that you end up optimizing it. Number 2, did you know there are 6.7 billion searches being done on LinkedIn? The question is, are you turning up? Are you turning up for the right reasons? If you're not, that means you've not optimized your profile in the right way. And lastly, when someone is serious about buying from you, they are going to do their research. I promise you. The stats show that 67% of B2B buyers will check out your LinkedIn profile before buying. If it is not current, it is not optimized, then you are literally leaving money on the table. You are going to lose sales. And who the hell wants that? You don't want that. Okay, so optimize it. So let's get into the 5 key things that we end up optimizing: profile photo, profile banner, headline, the about section, and recommendations. So the LinkedIn profile photo. Okay. Profiles with a headshot, a good looking headshot, receive 14 times more views, 9 times more connection requests, and 36 times more messages. Why would you not want to have a good looking headshot? It's so important. Okay. So this is why you want it. Now let me take you through what it should look like. And in this day and age, what is happening now is that AI, artificial intelligence, is taking over marketing. It's taking over marketing. Everything is being AI powered. AI is helping us make better marketing, make better decisions. Okay. So these are all clients of mine, and these are all people with great headshots. You will notice that there are certain key things that you will notice about them. First thing you will notice, they are all smiling. Very, very important. Okay. This is what's going to break the ice. And if you're smiling like this, then this is what's going to help build trust quickly and a connection. The other thing you'll notice is that their face covers more than 60% of the circle. Okay, they haven't really got much of their shoulder, and they're directly kind of looking at them. I mean, at you. So you want to be looking into the camera, so you're able. And the reason why you want such a big zoom in, okay, is that you want people to see your eyes. Okay, very important. Okay, so it is that sort of passport format. You are dressed appropriately. How would you dress if you were going to meet your number one best customer? Okay, so you want to be dressed accordingly. Remember, this is a professional network. Okay, so dress in that particular way. The background needs to be neutral. Okay, no text at the background. Okay, so these are some of the key things. Now let's show you how you can use this particular, snapper.co/photo-analyzer. This is a AI powered photo analyzer, and will analyze your photo against millions of the best photos out there, and it will give you a score out of 100. Okay. Again, you want to be above 70 plus. Okay. And you should see something like this. So this particular photo of mine, once it was analyzed, you can see I've scored 77 out of 100. And I'm not going to now get into, that particular, all the details and things like that. Okay. But it gives you a very detailed report and tells you exactly what are the things that you can improve, why you should improve it. And it's brilliant. Okay. So, my question to you is that, what score do you want? And, I would say that you want 75 or above. Okay. Because this is what creates that first great impression. Is this making sense? I want to just check in on chat. What are people thinking? Is this of value so far? Is this amazing? Okay, and nice. Alrighty. Okay. So if you manage to do a score, you want to put in your score. If and it doesn't matter, I started off pretty badly. I was initially in the 50s. Just give me a second. Just want to get that snap. I'm going to put that in the chat. Okay, so You will need to be logged into LinkedIn to be able to use it. So you can put that and you can check that out. It won't take long for it to analyze your photo. Alrighty. Okay, feel free to type into the chat your score, your current score, and these are good things. Okay, so now you can see how I end up using all my numbers, and this is what gives me that edge. Not sharing the right screen. Okay, so now what are some of the mistakes I want you to avoid? Okay, number one, no group photos. It might work for you on LinkedIn, I mean on Facebook, but not here. Number two, the one in the middle at the top. Okay, even if you are an athlete or you don't want that. Again, remember professional network. The dark and moody one on the top right. I can't see the person. It looks scary. Again, look. You want to be approachable, very well lit. Okay, bottom left, the throwback. You don't want that. No matter how proud you are of whatever major life event you had, okay, uh, use that for some other things, not for LinkedIn. Okay, bottom middle one, which is, I'm a doting father, so even no photo with your kids or photo of your kid or something like that, or your spouse, whatever. And then the bottom one on the right, even, I mean, I don't think most people have had a chance to really go on a foreign holiday or anything like that in the last year. But even if you did, uh, you don't want a photo of that. Okay, you want a good profile headshot. So these are some mistakes that I've actually seen, and I don't want you to end up making those. Okay, next, let's look at your LinkedIn about section. Okay, give me a second. And what I want you guys to do, okay, is I want you to right now go to my profile, and if you haven't yet opened it, then I'm going to prompt you, okay? And I want you to then scroll down, and just a second, I'm going to share this as able to see, okay? And you will see this, which is the about section, okay? And I want you then initially to read what are the first two sentences, okay? And then I want you to click on, see more. Now you'll notice initially it will only give you the first two sentences. It won't show you the entire about you section. And then once you do click open, okay, I want you to quickly scan this and just see. And I want you to see this and compare it for a moment to how yours might be. And I want you to see some of the key things here that I have. Okay, so now you've all done that. Okay, let's get back to. I'm going to show you some of the key salient parts that make this work. So, first things first, the first two sentences are essentially your elevator pitch. You've got to get the pitch right. If you get the pitch right and it appeals to the kind of ideal client that you are trying to attract, they will end up clicking see more. The curiosity factor will be there because you're getting straight into what do you do for people. Think about it. When we used to meet people at networking events, what's the most common question that people ask when you meet someone new? Oh, what do you do? So if you don't have that initial elevator pitch zoned in and dialed in and really crisp and cut up, then you're not going to get the kind of results that you want. People are not going to want to spend more time on your LinkedIn profile and click that see more. If you get that right, it opens up the door and people will say, oh, tell me more. How do you do that? Okay. So that's the equivalent where you know, click more. Okay. This is current, it's relevant, and very ideal client facing. So, who are the key prospects? Not everyone is a customer. Just think of your best customers. You want to attract more people like that. There are 2,600 characters. So many people I see end up having super short, like they'll just have literally a small paragraph. And you're wasting the opportunity that LinkedIn is giving you. Okay. So you want to be using all of it. So you can see here, I've got a very succinct, who do I help? What's the specific result I help them get? What is the timeline within which I help them do it? And what are the frustrations which they don't like, which I solve? That comes in the without wasting time, tech overwhelm, and spending a fortune on marketing. Okay. Next, when you open it up, you can see it's very easy on the eyes. It's very well formatted. There are specific icons. There's emojis. There's capitalization because you can't use, you know, bold or italics or things like that. There are some softwares which allow you to do that, but the thing is that will not work on all different what do you call it? All different platforms out there. So what do I mean by that? Everyone's using a different phone or, or computer to access LinkedIn. Okay, so it may or may not appear in that way directly. Excuse me, just taking a quick sip. Okay, so these are some of the key things. You will notice at the bottom, there is also a very clear call to action. A very clear call to action. What's the next step that you want them to take? Is it to connect with you on LinkedIn? Is it to book a virtual coffee? What exactly is it? So be very clear about the next step. Okay. So these are some of the key things that you need to do, and that will optimize your about section. If you do this right, this is what is going to amplify your authority, your credibility, and expertise with your target market. What are some of the mistakes I want you to avoid? This is not like your CV. Okay. This is very customer prospect facing. Don't use industry jargon. I'll share a fun thing with you. One day I was talking to someone about SMEs because I do work with a lot of SMEs. In my book, that means small and medium-sized entrepreneur. But I was talking to a professor, and as we had the conversation, it became clear he was talking about a different SME. So I said, hey, sir, what do you mean by SME? Because I think we mean different things. He said, subject matter expert. So that's what happens when you end up using jargon. Okay. Don't write in the third person. Make it very personable. Write in the first person, like as if you have written it, not as if some, I don't know, third party person has written about you. These are all 2,600 characters. And again, don't miss out your call to action. Okay, so most people need to typically work on these. So these are some key action points you need to take. Okay, next, let's look at one of your most underutilized sections, which is the featured sections. And what is the featured section? It is a section which is underneath the About section. Now, if someone's read the About section and is interested, this featured section, if you have the right things, is what is going to help you with lead generation or getting someone on a call or build extra credibility such that it will show third party proof that you are good. Okay, so this is important. Now, one of the key things you need there is you need a link to a lead magnet, which takes you to a landing page. What is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is a piece of information which is very useful, which solves a key problem a prospect is facing. And they're willing to give you their name and email ID to access that piece of information. It could be a checklist, it could be a template, it could be a script, something like that. Okay. It could have your best featured post, one that has had like tremendous views or something like that. It could be a case study. How do you help someone? It could be a video link, a video testimonial. It could be an article, okay, which again shares key education with your prospects, which will help them. It will help you become more credible. It will amplify your authority, and it would want people to want to connect with you. So let me just show you. Okay, so here you can see in my featured section, the first one you will see is that actually it is giving you this little checklist. So in my case, because I do a lot of LinkedIn work, it's related to LinkedIn. Okay. And this particular one would, give me between 7 to 10 new leads per week just from LinkedIn. Okay. So you need to have something which is there, which helps you do that. Okay, so you can see some of the things that are there. Give me a second. I'm the secretary of the building, and someone is trying to get in touch with me. Okay, so let me just quickly just show you. Okay, let me do a desktop sharing. So you can see here, okay? So here I have the lead magnet post. Here I have a video about how someone has been able to turn leads into prospects. Then, if you go here, I run masterminds. This is a case study, and this is another testimonial from someone who has grown the business by 250%. So you can see all of these are lending themselves to helping me build my credibility further on the platform. Okay, so this is what I wanted to just share with you with regard to in some initial optimizations. One thing that I'm going to just come back to is this is the profile banner, and you will notice the way I've not used the grayish bluish one that LinkedIn gives you. I've designed this in Canva. It has some keywords uh, that I want to be found for. Okay, it's got some famous people that I've had an opportunity to work for, which again builds credibility, and these are important. Okay, So I wanted to get some feedback from you right now, guys. What are some of the key takeaways right now that you have managed to get? Some type in the chat. What are some of the key takeaways? Featured section is available for everyone, yes. And if you've not yet used it, when you come down to this featured section, you just add a little plus sign, and you will be able to then have some item. You can use this. Click on this pencil icon, then it will begin to. You can change. If I want to change, like put one above another one, or change the sequence, then I'm able to do it. If I want to delete something or edit it, I'm able to do it. You can only have maximum 5 things. You should at least have one. Yeah, so Parija, the takeaway about the about section, yes, you need to use it precisely. Yeah, the profile score you didn't know about. Okay, the SSI, right? Yes. Vishali, making your LinkedIn profile more presentable. Yes. Yeah, Anil Kumar. Nice to see you here, Anil. It's been ages since we connected. Immediate, simple tips. Yeah, that's what I like. I don't like fluff. Alrighty. Okay, let's keep it moving on. Okay, let me just share. Oops. Okay, now let's look at some ways in which, as you begin to connect with people, now these are people that you already have in your current network. If you've not been very active on LinkedIn for a while, okay, then the first people that I would suggest that you want to get in touch with are the people that have already been part of your network. Especially with the current situation as it is, a lot of people have been impacted by COVID. Take for example, 3 weeks ago, my wife and I had COVID, and we were down, and we were in self quarantine. Thankfully, we've completely recovered. And we all know of people who've either been directly impacted or indirectly and have lost friends, family members, neighbors, etc. Okay, and this is really important that you begin to reconnect with them. And one of the best ways in which you can do that is send a little voice note. Okay, so how do you do that? Okay, I'm going to show you. So take for example, Samir is someone who's connected. Taxology team, just help me mute whoever is. There's someone in the background who's making some noise. So just mute them for me. Thank you. And you will see that if you go into messages, okay, and on the right, instead of write a message, you'll see a little microphone. Okay, if you click on that little microphone, you can end up then recording a message, and I would suggest that you do so using your phone. Okay, so I'd say something like this: Hey, Samir, it's been ages since we connected. Just wanted to check in. How are you right now during COVID times? And you might want to give a quick update about how you are. And this is a very simple way in which you can get a conversation going. It will make you completely stand out. And a lot of people are not even aware that this little functionality is there. And I've had a lot of people send me notes. Just give me a second. I'm going to just mute. Someone needs to be muted. Okay, so this is a simple way in which you can then begin to do it. and send out 25 voice notes, reconnections, voice notes. Okay, this is a great way to activate your immediate first degree network. Tactic 5: like, comment, and get visible with your connections and network. Make engagement a daily habit. Um, when you begin to leave thoughtful comments, first you'll begin to see who is posting content uh, from your network. If you leave thoughtful comments immediately, you will become very visible to that particular person. And not only to that person, you will also become visible to that person's network, all the people that are following them, not all of them, but people that are regularly following them or people who have commented on that particular post. So this is a nice way to do so. Okay? And I would suggest that again, you set some targets. How many posts do you want to leave comments on? And this is a simple way in which you can begin. And make sure that at least one of the people has a big network and has a good followership. And this is a great way in which you can begin to get more visibility and credibility. Tactic number 6: give recommendations. Not, people always say, I want more recommendations. The easiest way to get recommendations is by first giving people recommendations. There are people in your network who are suppliers, clients, or could be even referral partners. Every month, set a target of giving a recommendation. If you do this once a week, then you'll end up giving 4 recommendations, and you can then request them to give you a recommendation. And this is a great way to build relationships digitally. I don't think we do enough to recognize the key people in our network. And this is a great way for you to do so. Okay, so I'll just show you. There was a great recommendation that I had given. Let me first bring it up, and then I will show you. Just give me a second. Okay, let me just share this. Okay, so you can see there are a number of recommendations, and you'll also see that there are people who are requesting for recommendations. So it's not only that you just have to go out and give someone. So here, this is someone who I ended up giving a recommendation to, and this was sometime last year, and at the beginning of this year, this person has a extensive network in the US, and this is where I'm looking to now get some more work from. And she then ended up inviting me to join her network and become a mentor there. But I gave this because I had seen what she was doing and the kind of incredible work she had done. And this then ended up getting me some amazing recommendations. Um, this then has ended up getting me some amazing recommendations as well. I have a ton of these here, so you can just see. So this was a great one. Um, I gave this person a recommendation, then I followed it up with a phone call, and they said, "Hey, I really appreciated it." And Dr. Kill is a very famous personality, and he has a big followership and very successful in business. And he then ended up giving me this incredible recommendation. So it wouldn't have happened had I not initially given him that. So again, these are great ways in which you can do that. Okay? So I hope this is making sense. Now, as you also get recommendation, this is great social proof. This is third party telling someone that you are good. And when a third party, it's like a Google review, it's like a Yelp review, it's like a Zomato review. People do read those. You yourself are going to say, yes, I'm good. But when someone else who is similar to the prospect also says that you are good, then this is something that carries a lot of weight, and this will help you get a lot of conversions. It's one of the most important things as far as conversions go. And this is how you're able to turn a lead into a conversion. This is how you're able to turn a lead into a prospect. Okay, so I'd shown you this. And one of the things you can do then is also ask for a recommendation. So give it and then ask it. Terry's one of the top, she's one of the top action coaches in the world. And she again has a huge community in Australia, and I do get a lot of clients from there. And we've done a lot of work together. And this was one of the first things that we ended up doing. So I've given her a testimonial, and then she's given me as well. Okay, now point 7. You want to tactic 7, prospect daily, and you want to do this for the next 30 days. This is one of the things that people just don't do enough. Who is in your target market? What industry are they from? What job title do they have? There is a search bar on LinkedIn that allows you to type in these particular details and then go find these ideal clients. Okay? And if you begin to do that, then you can begin to see who those particular people are. So I'm going to just show you a quick way in which you can do that. So let's come to this. Okay, so in the search bar, now say I'm looking for people who are CEOs. Okay, then I will type that in quotation marks. And then here you will begin to see people that have that particular title. And if you click here, people, then you can see, it's got like a ton of people. 8 million results. Now, if you begin to filter according to second degree connection, so people that are not directly connected to you, but you have at least one contact in common in your network. Okay. And I do this, then you can see it goes from 8 million to about 6,98,000. And then you can begin to even do it according to location. So if you want to deal with people in Mumbai or wherever it is, Singapore, then you can begin to do that. So say I wanted a particular, let's say I wanted Mumbai. So then that takes it down to 16,000. So now I can begin to build these sorts of lists, and then have my kind of top 100 people that I want to send out a connection request to. I can check out are they the right type of person, what are they doing, and then begin to send them connection requests. Okay, so that's what I would suggest that you begin to do. Now, there is a new cap. This is something brand new. This has happened just, I would say, in the last 30 days. LinkedIn is clamping down on all these automated bots. And therefore, what they've done is initially they were clamping down on the bots, sending out all these hundreds of connection requests. Now, what they've done is anyone and everyone on LinkedIn, you can only send out 100 connection requests in a week. And if you use up your 100 connection requests, then you cannot have more. Okay, you have to wait until the next week before you send out another connection request. So it's really important that you use those wisely and you identify the right people, and you have a high connection request acceptance rate. And you can see this is how my connections have been growing. And if you are consistent every week, then this is how this will end up looking. You don't want just some big jumps, you just want it constantly going up. Okay? I've shown you how to do this through the search bar. And again, you should be getting at least 30 to 50% acceptance rates on every connection request. And if you're not getting, say, 2 to 7 leads, opportunities per week, then you're doing something wrong. We should end up talking. Okay. So one of the ways in which you can do that is your outreach messages. What is the initial connection request message that you send out? This is a very simple one. If you've done a search like this, then you can say, hey, write their first name. Say, I'm dealing with Rajesh. Hey, Rajesh, your profile caught my attention when I was searching for, CEOs in Mumbai. I'd love to connect. And then your first name. So keep it simple, very short, personal, and expecting a response. If you don't send a connection request, which is personalized like this, then the connection request acceptance rate goes down and you end up wasting the 100 quota that you have. Okay, so don't do that. Now, one of the key things I want to impress upon you is that there is something called social selling, and you've got to do things according to social selling principles. What are some of the social selling principles? There are 5 key steps. When initially you connect to people, they get to know you. Then you move to a stage where they get to like you. They like what you're doing, why you're doing it. They begin to trust you. And then you qualify them as a prospect. So the thing that I see that people are doing wrong right now, particularly, is that they immediately start with the sales pitch. In fact, I get so many connection requests where immediately they go into the sales pitch. This is the equivalent of you. I'm just going to take a relationship metaphor. For the guys, you met a girl, and this is the first time you met the girl, and you proposed to her on the first meeting. It's probably not going to work out well. That's what happens when you are trying to sell to someone in the first connection request. It's just not going to work out well. So you've got to have these sets of messages which move people along and keep things conversational. And this is how you are able to then move things sequentially and begin to build trust. People do business with people that they know, like, and trust. I call it the KLT factor. And if you don't build this up in the way that you message, then you will miss out and you will end up burning your network. And one of the key things that I learned from the founder of BNI, who's one of the top networkers in the world, is this formula. It's a process. First, you've got to become visible to your network. Then you've got to gain credibility. And then you have earned the right to ask for business, which is what leads to profitability. VCP. That's the key process, and it has to happen sequentially. You cannot go from visibility to profitability. Now, let's have a look at tactic number 9. Connect with 10 people that you admire. This is people that books that you have read, podcasts that you follow, a post that has inspired you, LinkedIn influencers. Who are they? Identify them, find them on LinkedIn, and then reach out to them with a personalized message mentioning what you liked about the post or the book or the podcast. Okay. Oops, give me a second. I think I'm not sharing. Okay. Are you able to see my PPT? Now, if someone can just type in chat. No? Okay.
No, sir. I think the share screen
Okay.
isn't.
Yeah. Okay. One
Check it,
I'll
please.
just do desktop
Yeah,
sharing. I
sure.
think that will be easier. Okay. So there you go. So connect to 10 people that you admire, and again, this is good because if you end up connecting to someone, say, that already has 10,000 people in their network, suddenly all of these people now will become second degree connection. And then when you begin to do search, more people will appear in your search. Why? Because you have a much bigger second degree connection network. So this is something which is really amazing and will help you expand your network, get more search functionality for you, and help building your credibility. Point 8 was refine your outreach messages, which is one of the things that you need to do is connect to people in the right way. So what's that first message? Don't sell to them. Okay. So Parija, this is it. You don't approach them in the right way. You can see on the screen, your profile caught my attention when I was searching for CEOs in Mumbai. I'd love to connect. It's not a sales message. Okay, and then it was this connect, know, like, trust. Right? Sequential, don't miss steps in between. People like to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. This is that formula which I mentioned. Visibility leads to credibility, which leads to profitability. Okay. Now, this is tactic number 9, which I've just taken you through. Now, let's come to something which is super, super, super important, which is content. Content is king, context is King Kong, and consistency is the mother of King Kong. Let me break this information down into key constituent parts which are super important. Okay? LinkedIn is a publishing platform. Currently, only 5% of the LinkedIn population is publishing. And therefore, if you are publishing, then you are going to be very visible. And there's a brand new mode which is now being released. Not everyone has it, but as time goes on over the next couple of months, there's something called creator mode. LinkedIn would like to give more visibility to these creators, just like you have YouTube creators. Okay, so that's why content is king. Now, you can't just end up producing anything and everything. And I see too many people, putting very salesy posts and kind of things that they end up doing on Facebook and Instagram. It's not going to work on LinkedIn. Okay? You need to get the context right. What do I mean by context? It's the relevancy of your post. Is it relevant to the network that you are building? And you should be building a network of the right prospects. Is this something that, say, if the right prospects for you are CEOs or chartered accountants, is this the right kind of thing that they would be interested in? That is the relevancy of your content. If you begin to do a lot of good content around that, which is educational, which is inspirational, this is what is going to get views and engagement. And then finally, you want consistency, because if you just do this once a month, it's not going to help you get the kind of traction that you want. You want consistency. And that means that, if you can do once a week, then you want to do once a week. Now, my suggestion is that you at least do 3 times a week: Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you can do 3 times a week, then that's when you will be able to use content to help you scale up your visibility and credibility, and therefore you will then be able to get inbound leads and opportunities. So let's get into why you should be posting and the kind of posts that you should be doing. Why should you be posting? It starts conversations. Conversations are the new lead, as Ryan Dice would say, one of the top digital marketers in the world. This is how people can discover you, can find you, can see. This is the way in which you can share value. If you share value in such a way which demonstrates your expertise, you will also build trust. It will help develop a relationship, and then this will help you generate new business. You will have top of mind recall, top of mind visibility. Before they think of anyone else in your industry, because you are active and they keep on following you and you keep on adding value through your post, they will think of you before they think of someone else from your industry. Okay, so what are the kind of posts that are working? So this is one that works really well on LinkedIn, which is what I call the text-only short post. It's literally a small sentence. It's a 2-liner here. This was something that, as I was listening to a particular podcast, and I do that every day, it really made me think. And then I ended up sharing that with my community, and that by itself got 2,000 views. Now, I've done this earlier this week, and there was one that I did which got 8,000 or 10,000 views. Okay, so this is a short content post. Next, this is a short, this is a long text only post, which is a few paragraphs. It is I've ended up tagging a few people. I've tagged my company. I've talked about, it was a particular event that we were having and some of the things that we learned. And these are people that also have big communities. And then you can see that there is at the bottom, there is a call to action. Okay. Would you like an exclusive invitation to attend one of my mastermind events? And if any of you would like to attend one of my mastermind events, okay, it happens every first Wednesday of the month, and it's an invitation only mastermind, okay, then please reach out to me, connect with me, and I will send you a, you can send it in the LinkedIn message, and I will send you an invite. So this is a great way in which I know people that are interested in mastermind then can begin to reach out to me for that. And this one ended up generating multiple leads, multiple visitors, and this ended up converting into long-term clients. This is another post which I like, which is a quote post. And it is related to my key expertise. So this is marketing related. And here I've ended up quoting someone who is famous, Reid Hoffman. And he's one of the founders of LinkedIn. And this became a trending post on marketing. And I think that was one of the reasons. Okay. So this is a quote stroke photo post. So if you have your own personal photo or let's say particular quote, which is good. So this is another type of post which works really well. Okay, a video post. Now, this is a short video which is only 16 seconds. And this is one of those kind of viral ones. It's got a little screen grab, which is really, like grabs your attention, and it has a particular point. And you can see the way he's used the headline here. Do you want to achieve a big goal? So it starts with a question, and then, start small, and you're wondering, okay, what exactly is going to happen? Get you to play. And this has got, tens of thousands of views. Okay, so again, it may not even necessarily be your own content, but this is one way in which you can get followership. But so they've ended up using. I think it's important if you're going to use someone else's content, please make sure that you give them credit, take their permission as well. Okay. Okay, so some key actions here. If you begin to get these particular things right, okay, you will begin to become more visible and credible. One of the things is post during working hours. Now, you can end up testing and see what works well with your target market. I typically end up posting just before 9 a.m. Okay. Mine is typically either CXOs of large companies or entrepreneurs, founders of companies. So they tend to look at this at the beginning of the day. And you could end up tagging some relevant people. Don't just tag them irrelevantly. Okay, so I hope this is making sense. How are people finding this so far? And is this of use? Is this of help? Can you type in the chat what did you find useful so far? And I just want to check in with Farouk. Do we want to
Yeah,
do
Neeraj.
that? Yeah, do we want to do that quick little exercise and break as well?
Yeah. And guys, please open your, start your video so that Neeraj can see you guys. And you should look enthusiastic that you are learning. Yeah, so what we'll do now is that we'll put you guys in some small rooms, breakup rooms, and you can, discuss out with your colleagues there that what did you learn in this first half of the session and what were the key takeaways that you learned, right? So I'll be putting you in breakout rooms for internal discussion, and then we'll have a 10 minutes break.
Great. How's it going, everyone?
They're still in the room, so it will take half a minute to come out.
I see. No problem. How's it going, Farouk? Is this good?
Exceptional. So good. Learning a lot of new things.
Nice. I'm still scratching the surface.
Yeah.
What time have we got the session till? Until 1, right?
No, until 2.
Until 2. Okay. So good. We have good time. So cool. Whoever is currently on, if you have any comments, questions, whatever, I'd love to hear.
So I hope you discussed a lot of things in the breakout rooms. So if anyone has any question, you can raise his hand so I can unmute him.
Yeah, I can see Munira has a question. So go ahead, Munira.
Hi, Nilesh sir. Thanks a lot for very insightful information and giving us the hacks for the using LinkedIn. I really
Yes.
appreciate all your efforts and keeping it so affordable to people in this pandemic time.
Yes.
I had a question. Basically, I'm from Hyderabad, and
Yes.
I'm into USIT recruitment. I basically do USIT recruitment, and I find very difficulty in connecting with white vendors, because we people have to get the connections for getting the projects for people on our bench,
Yeah.
mostly for the projects. So we need to connect with the white vendors, direct clients. So I feel very difficult whenever I post or I try to appreciate their connections or comments by giving some insightful information about their posts and interactions, but I do not get any reply from those people, and I feel offended many a times that I do not even get a reply from white people most of the time, and
Okay.
most of the big people.
Let's for a moment leave race out of it. Okay. It's nothing to do with white or non-white or anything like that. I'm very particular about that. But yes, there is a culture gap. Okay. And if any of you are looking to deal with people outside of India, and I'm born outside of India. Although I'm of Indian origin, and I've lived outside of India in multiple countries. There is a big culture gap, and the way in which we approach people and the type of comments we make, and things like that. You've got to understand what are the things that really work. So what I would first do is I would identify people who are already IT recruitment companies that actually work in the US, that are competitors and that are successful. I identify who the founders are, their company pages, and see the kind of things that they are doing out there.
Mhm.
Okay, because that will show you what sort of things they find of value, and see the kind of posts that are getting engagement and how they're responding. And if you follow that person, you can also see their activity in terms of who they've commented on, what type of comments they are leaving on other people's. That will
Like
give
I
you an idea in terms of the languaging that you should be using.
Yeah, I basically happened to find out that a few of the people, not only the white vendors, but Indian people also with the higher positions, like they are working as a talent acquisition senior most person, or they are into the talent head for the particular company, like Infosys, Tata, consulting services, Accenture, and Wipro and Tata Elxsi and other companies, Indian companies, they do not reply.
Munira, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to keep it short because this may not be relevant to everyone. Okay, you're
Mm-hmm.
free to get in touch with me and we can have a further conversation on this. But this is a
Definitely.
culture gap. This is a culture gap.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and if you don't know how to bridge that culture gap, it's the same problem that people, when they've been trained by these call centers and they're having to call people in America. If they don't know how to talk to them and how to approach them, they're going to end up getting abused and people are going to slam the phone down. And this is the equivalent. When people end up ghosting you and not responding back and things like that, it generally means that the approach wasn't in the best way possible. So I'm kind of giving you a more succinct answer. I'm happy to take a conversation off with you, separately, and we're able to have a detailed conversation on this.
Okay, that's so nice of you, and thank you so much for giving an insightful information. And I appreciate all your help and all your time. Thank you so
Sure,
much.
sure, sure. And I'll show you how you can get in touch with me and book a call with me in a moment as well. Okay.
Thank you so
Just
much.
want thanks so much. I'm not avoiding the thing. It's just that this is going to require a little bit more probing first from me, and then giving you feedback. Which I'm conscious that we have so many people on the call, and it may not be relevant for everyone.
That's
Uh,
perfect. So you can
yeah,
get in contact with Neeraj later on. And now we'll take a short break of 5 minutes. So you can, pick up a glass of water and do whatever you want and come back in 5 minutes. So it is 12:40 right now. So we'll start at 12:46 precisely. So have a good time. Come back soon.
I'm going to stay on in case people have some other questions and things like that. I'm kind of going
yes,
to hang
yeah. Hi,
around.
Neeraj. This is Arshad from Nagpur.
Hi, Harshad. Lovely to
Uh,
connect with you.
yeah, I am into glass business. My company name is Fancy Frame Glass Stores, and we are into glass business since 1960s. And I'm the third generation into my family glass business. Uh,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm also into BNI here in the second chapter in Nagpur. It's called BNI Blanco. I don't have any particular question. My only request is I have sent you a personal connection request on LinkedIn. So kindly accept. So it will give us the opportunity to network with you and grow our connections.
Sure, sure, sure. It'll be my pleasure. I obviously haven't looked at the connection requests that have all come in. Many of them would have come in right now while we're on. So
Yes.
once this is up, then I will certainly do that. I can see a whole bunch of people here.
Sure.
Um, okay, cool.
Hello, Neeraj. I have a question.
Yes, go ahead. Sort
Yes.
nice
So,
to connect.
so I started on LinkedIn in 2018, back in 2018, after exiting from my first business.
Yes.
And initially, I did a lot of mistakes on LinkedIn. Like I added random people, added a lot of followership, right? But I did a good things also. I created a lot of educational content, and that's why I have around 1,35,000 followers now, right?
Hmm.
The problem is I am also getting a lot of inbound leads, no problem at all. But the thing is that because of that random cluster, there is an audience that doesn't engage,
Hmm.
right? And that's why where my engagement and my reach can be maybe 2 lakh, 3 lakh views, it stuck at around 25,000, 30,000 views. How do I clear this up? How do I clean this mess?
Okay, so I only have hardly 9,000
I know.
followers, okay? But there are views, there are posts of mine that have 50,000 plus, 60,000, 70,000, etc. Okay,
Yes.
so what's the difference? Okay, I've been very judicious about who I will accept a connection request from. I get a lot of people who are, students and interns and people like that as well trying to connect. Unfortunately, those are not the right people for me.
Right.
Okay, so I don't end up accepting.
And they're
And one
not
of
even
the
active in engaging with your content mostly.
some of them are, some of them are. I'm not saying that they aren't. And this is where changing that profile setting in such a way where you can get followers is therefore better, because when you then have the content that you've created, and then it will show up for them. But I think the key thing here, what I've understood, is that you've got to get very clear about the niche that you want to focus on. And I will say that in the content side, there's a 60-30-10 formula that I use. Okay, 60% is inspirational, 30% is educational, and it's in depth educational, and 10% is promotion. One moment. Twinkle, I will be until 2. Sorry. So it's only 10% promotional. And even in that promotional, there's a difference where I would say 5% is hard promotion and 5% is soft promotion. What is a soft promotion? A soft promotion is like, when you say, hey, contact me if you want this lead magnet, or, something like that. And a hard promotion is book a call with me. Okay, so these are the kind of differences that you need to have in place. The other thing is you've got to optimize your content in such a way that you use a data-driven approach.
Okay.
So I'm using Shield, okay, and with Shield I'm able to number crunch for each post, and I have a dashboard, and that information I am not able to get through what's it called, LinkedIn itself. So
Okay.
it is something that has been approved by LinkedIn. It is a third-party software. I think the solo version is about, I don't know, $12 a month or something like that. Okay. And if I just show you my screen on it, just give me a second. I'll do desktop share.
So Neeraj, for me, that all is fine now. That has been corrected how to operate. But so do I have to go to my initial connections and remove them or something like that?
Yes. All the people who are wrong, begin to prune them. Now, don't do them in one go. Just
No,
keep doing
obviously.
them a little bit every. So if they look like they're the right people, send them one of these voice requests. So that's a nice way to activate them. Okay, and if you feel comfortable on video, then you can do so. And then the people who are not, identify some of the people that are not the right job profiles, or whatever the case may be. So I don't know if you're able to see my.
Yes, I am able to see that.
Okay, so this is in the week. Okay, now this is me like heavily using Shield. Okay, I've been using it for 3 months, but in this last week, I really I number crunched everything that had happened in the 3 months, and I really started to test each post. And I did 6 posts this week, and you can see I've gone from 19,000 views to 94,000 views. Likes have gone up dramatically, comments have gone up dramatically, shares have gone up dramatically. There was something that happened here which had a 29% engagement rate. which is insane. So I've discovered something new. And you can see follower rates have gone up again dramatically as well. So and there was one particular post which I didn't even post during my normal time, and it was a document post which you commented on as well,
Yes.
which has had 74,000 views. But then I've ended up doing some others, which have been okay, So that gives me some key input. And if anyone is serious about LinkedIn, then you have to look at using this particular app.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so do a combination of pruning the network, like even my email list. I get majority of my business actually through email. Every quarter I will take people off. People who haven't engaged or are not the right people, I'll take them off my list. So you've got to do that for you.
Got it.
Alrighty, okay.
So I have a huge mammoth task to do to filter out 17,000 first connections. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll do it. That will be good for me.
it's okay. Just put it as part of your housekeeping, weekly housekeeping.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, let's do this. Let's everyone's back, I think. Farooq, I can get started again.
Yes, definitely. Everyone is back.
Yes.
Ready to go.
All right, let's rock and roll. Okay. Okay, let me get just give me a second. I'm not able to see my okay, let's I'm not sure. Sorry, the setting has changed a bit. Okay, let me get into a little bit more detail now with regard to content. One of the things that a lot of LinkedIn experts are saying is that don't bother writing articles. Articles are dead. You will. And what is an article? It's a long form piece of content like a blog on LinkedIn, okay, which a lot of people initially they used to allow people to publish it, and you got massive amount of views and things like that. But of late, the views haven't been that much. However, your engagement rate will go up, and especially if it is an in-depth article with specific how-tos and pictures and the kind of things, it is kind of SEO optimized, then over time this will be really good. So take for example, it could be like your key learnings of 2020, or now we've already had a quarter go, so my key learnings of quarter one in 2021, or something like that. You could end up writing. It could be your successes, your failures, your wins, your fears. It could be any of those things that you could turn into an article. So that's something which, if you could do one of these articles, or even if you just have a series of blogs that you've written in the past and begin to publish these, optimize them for SEO, search engine optimization, and then have them, they do have value. One of the things that I love to do is to have case studies. Okay, and this is one of the things I don't think enough people do. Next, one of the types of posts which I find does really well on LinkedIn is trends. People like to know about trends, so industry trends or something like that. And what are your predictions or your findings? And what you want to do is you want to do a carousel document first. What is a carousel? It's one of those things you can keep sliding to the left. Okay, it's like a mini slide deck, slideshow. Okay, and you want to do it as a square. So I'll show you an example of that. So here is one that has worked really well, and it had some, I don't know, 19, 20,000 views. And the world in 2030, 8 future trends you need to know. Okay, and you can see it's got that little thing swipe left, and this is a great way in which you can get. Now, one of the things that the algorithm in LinkedIn is looking at is dwell time. How long do people spend on your post? And because they are reading this by sliding it, okay, and this has about 10 slides, and I would suggest doing something more than 10. 10 is a good number, okay? And the headline has to grab attention. This is what will grab attention. Now, I just want to quickly show you, there's something that I had posted. How did I get 75,000 views? Okay. So what had happened was, just give me a second. I'll do a desktop share again, make sure I get the right thing. Okay, so let's do activities. So if I go post an activity, and let's show you a document post. Okay, so if I click on documents, you'll be able to see all my kind of document posts. Okay, so I had a guide to social selling. Okay, you can see here 74,000 views. I'm just waiting for it to load up. Okay, so how to turn strangers into happy, high value clients. Now you can see here this white little, and then if I do this, can you see it? And I'm clicking on it. That's what's making it move. It doesn't happen automatically. Okay, so this I know was something that people wanted. And initially I had posted this on Instagram, and I got good traction on Instagram. So then I decided to use it here. Okay, and you can see it's very easy to read, works well even on a mobile screen. And this is where now more than 50% of people are beginning to consume content on, and it's really good. And then one of the things that you'll see here, I'm asking people to follow me. So if you click on this here, like follow me, and this is what's beginning to build up my followership as well. Okay, so this is something which is very relevant to my industry that I know people are looking for, and this is what really helped me jump. This was one which did really well as well. Okay, I had about 8,000 views, etc. So different ones. This is where I used Elon Musk. So I had some 16,000 views, etc. So I try out different things. This is what we're covering today, but obviously I'm going into in more depth. But this one had about 13,000 views. So I hope you're getting an idea of this. Okay, let's now come to other kinds of posts. So this is an industry trend one. Everyone from your industry will be interested. Everyone who is a prospect will be interested. Okay. Now, tactic 13, unpack your expertise using a lead magnet on LinkedIn. So this is an example of a LinkedIn checklist that I put together, and it's a free download that I'm giving you. And you can literally, it's got 3 paragraphs. That's it. It's got 3 hashtags that I've used, and it's got a link which goes to my website, which has this particular form, and you can link this. And this is how I get a whole bunch of key. Every week I'm getting about 7 to 9 new leads just because of this. Okay, so do you have a lead magnet post? If not, you should use one. Okay, tactic number 14. Use hashtags. Use the right kind of hashtags. Now, I'm testing this out, and I'm testing this out every quarter. When I was testing this out in October of last year, I found that, the algorithm was looking at between 3 to 9 hashtags. Right now, it looks like it's again dropped the number from 3 to 5. So it's like between 3 to 5 instead of 3 to 9. And if I use less hashtags, then I'm getting more reach. Okay, so this is important. How can you find out some of the right hashtags for 2021? If again on the search bar you say hashtag digital or hashtag digital marketing or whatever it is, then it will give you a report like this, which is like how many people are following it on LinkedIn. So I've identified what are some of the top ones which have a big reach. At the same time, I've identified some which are niche, which are relevant to me, which maybe have a smaller following. Okay, so I've identified these, and these are like my sort of top 20 hashtags that are relevant for me and my target market. Okay, and then when I post, I make sure I end up using the right relevant ones. Okay, so here's a formula. One is related to content specificity. One is related to, say, location. One could be industry specific, like say marketing for me. One is company branding related. So Titan Masterminds is my company or my personal brand. So Neeraj Shah, so hashtag Neeraj Shah. Things that would be of client interest, like say personal branding or marketing, sales for me. And then it could be popular stroke trending. Obviously, COVID-19 is something which is trending. Okay, so these are different ways in which you can identify, and then you can begin to put together for your post what are the relevant ones. Now, tactic 15, experiment with new kinds of posts. LinkedIn continually keeps up with new different posts. The previous quarter, so at the end of last year, they were looking at some different kind of posts. So polls had come out and they were looking at that. Then at the beginning of this year, they were looking at things like events. You could create an event and things like that. So, they were boosting that. LinkedIn stories had come out, so they were boosting that. So there are many different things that are there. Try out different ones. If you just keep on doing quote posts, then mix it up with a text only post. Do a long form post. Do a short form post. Do a video post. Do a list post. All sorts of things. So experiment. The other day, earlier in the week, I did one type of post, which was a poll, and I don't know, it got some 15,000 views. So again, just testing things out. Okay, so when you go to posting, if you click on start a post, then you see many other different types of posts. Initially, in this case, I had only photo, video, document, and write article, but once you start typing, you'll see other ones, and then you can begin to choose from there. Okay. Tactic 16. Apply for LinkedIn Live. If you do have it, start using it regularly. If you type LinkedIn Live in inverted commas in the help section, you have to apply for it. Okay. And you may have to apply more than once before you get it. So just look out for it. This allows you to do live videos, just like how people have Facebook lives or Instagram lives or YouTube lives. And you're able to do that. And you're able to then do longer form content. I would suggest between 30 minutes to 1 hour seems to work well. And this is another way in which you're able to build up your audience and you're able to help deliver value. Um, Typically, this is not for the shorter ones. So you want something which is going to be longer. And then it will let people know from your network who are currently live on LinkedIn on the platform that, hey, you have a live going on, and they can then tune in and they can watch a recording of that as well previously. So people end up getting notifications. So this is one way to use these things. Again, this helps you share your expertise. This is a brand new one. I haven't yet got it. I would love to get this particular one, but they've rolled it out essentially this last quarter, and it is a newsletter. And if you get this feature, you're able to begin to turn your long form articles into a newsletter. And I think one of the key things here is you need to be quite regular in posting things. And I think one of the things that you'll need to be regular is on posting articles. Because I haven't been regular of late, I'm finding that I don't currently have that newsletter. Now, the cool thing is that every time someone subscribes to your newsletter and you post it, it will notify people. It will send them an email through LinkedIn, which is amazing. So for that reason, and this requires you to be consistently producing content, once a month, or really to get majority maximum engagement and profitability, then I would say once a week. So this will really up your content game, and this is a more advanced and time-consuming thing. If you get it, this would be really worth its weight in gold. And remember the creator mode that I was talking about. So this will, rather than just having your email list, this is now building another platform through which you can send it. Okay, just like how Facebook groups have become really powerful, this is rather than LinkedIn groups. I would say that this is a feature which I would value a lot more than LinkedIn groups. Not to say LinkedIn groups don't have value, but this is, I think, right now more valuable. Okay. One of the things I was showing you is Shield Analytics. That is tactic number 18. And this will then give you a lot more insights, and it'll allow you to do things better. I want to show you some of the things that you can do. Don't worry, I don't have any affiliate with Shield. Okay, so all the things I'm showing you, I'm a paying customer. I found it of huge value. Just making sure. Are you able to see my Shield dashboard right now? Just someone type in. Just type in if you're able to see. Right now, there's something called a content report. Okay, cool. So you're able to see multiple things, and then, I'm able to slice it and dice it. So say here, I'm showing a 4-week report. So then, you can see, so in the last 4 weeks, I've really heavily started to use data based from Shield, and you can see that the kind of results I've had have been insane. So, I had about, 32,000 views at the beginning, and now, like over this month, I've had 130,000 views. Everything has been going up, from comments to likes to shares, even engagement. All of that has been made. This gives you a short report, which are the most popular ones this week, or even this 4 weeks. You're able to do month to date. This is quarter to date. You're able to get some cool reports. So it's nice. And then this one I really like. With your profile, it's telling you how your profile views are going up, over the week, search appearances, how your connections are growing. So you can see this is my connections, and this is a nice report that I really like, which is it showing, how your follower count, connections, followers, following, profile views, all of those are going up. And you can see here, I'm now beginning to get an uptick in my follower count. This has some summaries. This shows. One moment. I'm going on till 2. I'm on until 2. Until 2 o'clock later. Yeah. So you can see here, my posts, and I'm able to get lots of data, etc. You can try out a free thing for about a week, and then you can decide whether this is something for you. I would only suggest you use it if you are going to be serious about LinkedIn. Okay, let's come back. Okay, so I've just shown you that. Okay, tactic number 19. You need to schedule some time. Fix it in your calendar. Doesn't matter what it is, but fix it. Just like like there's certain times I will meditate during the day, I will exercise during the day, like that. Lock this in your calendar, have an alert, and begin to do this. And engage with people's content until you're getting to a place where you are beginning to create your own content. Connect with people, send out a connection request, search for the right people, do all of those particular things. Tactic 20, prospect if you've not been currently prospecting. Post a video if you've never done a video post. Do a text post if you've not done. Stop being a lurker. More and more people are going to be rewarded for creating. Begin to create. Stop just looking at what people are doing. If you don't use messaging, begin to use messaging. Be active on the platform. Begin to use it not only as a listening platform, but as a way to help others and to contribute. One of the key things that I've learned about being a good networker is coming with that generosity of spirit. If you go in thinking of like, who can I help, how I can help them, how can I help the kind of target market that I can really work with, then this really, really will help. Okay, so this is what I will say. And finally, enjoy the journey. If you don't enjoy the journey, then it means that you're not going to be able to sustain it. If this becomes a daily part of your routine, which you're really able to enjoy, then you will find that the results you're able to get from LinkedIn are something that really surpasses whatever you thought was possible. It's going to be really amazing. And I hope I've shown you some simple, clear, powerful ways in which you can begin to really make this journey super enjoyable. So let's check in with people. How are people doing? Comments. If you have questions, what have you found of value?
Please post your questions on the chat box so that Neeraj can see and answer them. If someone wants to ask a question directly, they can unmute themselves.
So I can see a couple of questions. Mohammed, how do you create your best profile? I would suggest that you download my ultimate profile checklist. Okay, I will show you a link for that. And that will show you step by step some key things that you need to do that. Okay. Parija, how do you use hashtags to define visibility? I'd shown you that formula. So you have to identify for each of those a couple of hashtags which are relevant. Okay. And then you need to begin to test out. Initially, I would test out like, one or two broad ones. One definitely that is related to the topic that you are looking at, one which is a location one, and one which is helping you build your brand. Okay. And then to that, I would add another two niche ones. And that's how you can begin to see. And what I've noticed is if you get the number of hashtags right, and if you have a lot of people following those hashtags as well, then it can really boost your views. If I put the same post with the right hashtags, it could maybe get 2 to 3 times the views. It could be the same one that I did earlier. If I didn't use those same hashtags and I choose different ones, you'll see some changes. So I had shared that particular thing. If I'm going to just share that again so that you can see, and you want to end up. Hopefully, you're able to.
Is that you should not use too many hashtags.
Yeah, the mistake is people use too many hashtags, thinking this is what do you call it? They think this is Instagram or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask regarding the hashtags. Like I saw the 3 to 9 formula. So while during the session, I just thought three is kind of convenient or optimum that we should work with.
Initially, when they started hashtags, someone from LinkedIn themselves had posted, and if you saw how many they were using, they were only using 3, and that kind of became the de facto. But people like me who look at the algorithm and look at all the things that changes that keep happening, we have identified that it went up. The numbers have gone up. So it went right up to less than 10 definitely. And I've been testing different numbers and seeing which is the ones that have been working. Right now it seems between 3 to 5. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, good. Let's come back again to just a second. Okay.
Vaishali has a question that what will you advise for people who are looking for jobs in LinkedIn?
So again, if you're looking for jobs on LinkedIn, you've got to think of someone who's going to be your future boss. Okay, what's the position? What are the responsibilities? The about section should be written in that particular way the headline. Okay, what is the headline? The headline, I'll just show you quickly. Just give me a second. Let me change the. I'll do a desktop share just a second. Okay, so the headline is this part here. So just underneath your name, what are the keywords being used? Okay. So if you are looking at marketing or things like that, then you want to have those particular terms and things like that.
Neeraj,
And then
we are not able to see your screen. It is still the PPT.
I see. Okay. Okay, you should be able to see it now. Just confirm, Farooq.
Yeah, we are seeing it.
Okay, so then like in the headline, you need to use some keywords that people from in that job are going to be using, and it's optimized so you're able to be found. Okay. The other thing is here on the profile itself, make sure that just a second, I'll just move to the profile. Okay, so under here where it says open to, okay, you need to use this finding a new job, and then what will happen is there will be a ring that will appear which is open to new opportunities. You'll see this kind of green ring. Okay, and then what will happen is that will let recruiters know that you are open to new opportunities, and you will show up higher on recruiter searches. Okay, and then the about section, instead of you trying to attract a new customer, it's like you're trying to write it in a way which you're trying to attract a new potential. So think in terms of the kind of job, what excites you about the job, what you'd bring to the job, all of those. So I hope that's clear.
Yeah, that's quite clear. And also about the posts that these guys can put, like the knowledge base about their experience. What kind of posts should they normally put if they're looking out for good jobs? Are you with us, Neeraj? I think there is some problem.
Reach out, see what are the kind of content that other thought leaders from that industry are sharing. So you can then end up sharing their piece of content, but put your 2 cents worth about what they have said. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so can you tell us about inbound sales funnel for better marketing? Okay, great question. Let me show you something. I just want to make sure that I show you my slide deck. Are you guys able to see my slide deck?
Yeah, we are able to see.
Hang on, I'm not able to change this. Just a second. Okay. So I want to just show you something. Okay, we have a system, and if you're really going to build a proper funnel using LinkedIn, which is selling high value products or services, these are the things that you're going to have in place. Okay, let's look at it. There are 3 key aspects. Okay, the first at the bottom is you've got to get the profile right. Stage 2 is the prospecting side, right? And stage 3 is the profiting. Okay, so for each of them, there are 3 specific steps. in profile, step one, you've got to optimize everything. You've got to first understand who's your perfect target market. What is moving them? What are their pains, frustrations, and where do they want to move forward to? Be very clear about that so that you understand their psychology. You understand the demographics. Then you've got to devise a pitch, a perfect pitch, which helps open up the conversation. It's like that elevator pitch. Sorry, someone from the team, can you help me just mute?
Yeah, I
Can
will.
someone just mute it? Yeah, just mute everyone else because there's extra sound coming, which shouldn't be. Okay. And you've got to optimize your profile aligned to that target market that you want. Once you have that in place, then you're able to go for the next stage, which is the prospecting. You've got to build a perfect prospect list of about a couple of hundred potential dream clients. We show you how to use the free version to be able to do that. The next part is the messaging playbook. You've got to have a set of messages which takes people from being strangers to people that know, like, and trust you, which then gets people interested. Okay, you build credibility, but then how do you take them off this and get them on to being a prospect? That's where the ultimate lead magnet comes. And this is how you are able to take them off LinkedIn, get them on to your email list using this lead magnet, which attracts them. And then we go into the profit stage. And this is typically, the lead magnet and the profit stage and this next parts that I'm going to talk about. This is where people mess up. So from the messaging and all of that, that's what people need to dial in. In the profit stage, we have something called the appointment accelerator stage, which is how we get people from being prospects to actually being appointments and get on a phone call with you. And there's a particular system we use, and this is how I'm able to get 99% of all my appointments. I don't rely on referrals or things like that. And then we have a high ticket sales conversion script, which gets people to want to sign up for high value products. And then on top of all of this, this is when we use content. If you don't have these other things in place, then you have a broken or a missing system. And even if you're using content in the right way, you won't get the results that you want. So this is the system that we have. And if you'd like to launch a $10,000 offer in the next 90 days, then what I would invite you to do is actually get on a call with me where we can map out currently where you are, what are you struggling with, where you want to get to, and we can help you get together the specific things you should be doing to launch your high ticket item offer in the next 90 days. So that's how you really, step by step build your sales funnel. Does this make sense? Hope this is making sense to people.
Yes, definitely. That was an amazing insight.
Obviously, we don't have time to go through all of those particular things.
Most of the questions are answered now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's one more.
Yeah.
Jwala is asking that can you please give us some insight on using search options more effectively?
One of the key things that I would say is that you've got to use the quotation marks. Okay, so then it will help you get very specific terms So that's how you can begin to narrow, and then begin to narrow according to industries and perhaps specific job titles. So it could be head of marketing, or head of sales, or sales director, or things like that. So I'll sales director, so sales space director, inverted commas. So then only people with that specific job title will then show up. So that's how we begin to use a more specific. This is a big part, and we don't have time right now for that. There's much more advanced search that you can do for free, but I can't take you through that right now. Work with me on a one-to-one level, and I will teach you how to do that. That's one of the things that you and I will work. We'll create a very custom search, so that you quickly find and quickly build a network of about 2,000 new prospects, and then we will show you how to do custom messaging, and then get them off LinkedIn onto your email list, onto a call with you, and then convert them.
Definitely. Any other question you have? Any one of the participants has any specific question regarding today's program? The 21 hacks that Neeraj has given us, and some of them are very, very interesting. And even after using, LinkedIn for so many years, we were not aware of these things. So that's an amazing takeaway today.
I think Munira has another question. Munira.
Hi, sir. I would like to thank you so much for very informative information, and so patiently giving us the hacks and insights about the LinkedIn. I really appreciate that. Sir, is there anything like any advanced level of program wherein we can work it out, working overall our LinkedIn profile and getting to some of the good, getting some good custom.
I do have some advanced programs. We can always discuss that at a later stage. I would suggest first you book a call so that I can understand what your requirement is. We have a combination of things that you can work with. If you want to do things on a DIY level, then that's there as well. And if you want my one-to-one, where we work very intensively together over a 90-day period, then that is also there. They obviously come at different price points, so but that's a phone call. I'm not going to share that over this.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Munira. Now I like all of you. Sindhu, are you there?
Just give me a second, Farooq. I just wanted to quickly just share something. There is a little gift that I have. So if people go to this lp.neerajshah.me, some of you are asking what specifically can you do for your LinkedIn profile. Okay, so if you go to this particular one, lp.neerajshah.me, you can download this for free, and you will get specifically, with me showing you screenshots, and you can order your current profile, and you can update things accordingly. Very easy to consume and action. If you haven't yet connected, please do connect with me. If I haven't yet responded, just give me some time up till Monday to respond back. This is what some people do say. Okay, so give me a second. Right. So this is a simple way in which you can get in touch with me. Okay, over to you. On the reaction screen. So not only, okay, I want to just take a quick screenshot as well. So if you can do that, if you see at the bottom of your Zoom, there should be something called reactions. There's a small face or something like that, and then you can choose something which is relevant. So I'm just kind of putting one, like if you can do that, that would be great.
Come on. It's Sunday afternoon. I
Come
know
on, guys.
you're waiting for your lunch.
Don't worry, I'll let you get on with lunch shortly. I hope it's been worth the while.
So we had a wonderful time, Neeraj. And
Thank you.
I like all the participants to give a big clap, a big round of applause to Neeraj for this wonderful program. And hope we'll continue with these programs for the time to come. Yeah, so thanks, Neeraj, from all the participants for coming
Thank
here.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also like
Thank you
to
to
For
the
your
team.
valuable information, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll also like to thank Team Taxology. They have worked really hard behind this to make this possible, especially Divya.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do we have Divya
Thank you,
here?
Divya, and thank you to the whole team. Yes.
Thank you, Neeraj. Very useful session.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Have a great Sunday. Thank you. Thank you.
Great Sunday to all of you, and hope as we have taken the pledge, we'll not, let it go. We'll use all these things that we have learned today to make our profile great, and not just the profile, but to get good leads also. So thanks, Neeraj,
Yes.
and thanks all of you. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.